today in terms of ज्ञान, we'll get into problems, पर थोड़ा सा फिर भी देख लेंगे. और कोई भी चीज if you don't understand in this chapter, ask me twice, okay? So we are studying a chapter called Polynomials. This is a recap slide, okay? And we are also studying whatever is can be mapped from quadratic equations. And children, this is recap does not mean you just look at the board. I want that you also write. The more you write, the more you learn. Remember this always, okay? Number one, okay, and just check. Whenever you go back at home, you check. Definition of a polynomial from the Desi point of view. You know that. An algebraic expression where the variable's power is always a whole number. You cross-check yourself whether you know these or not. Then you should know something which is known as degree of a polynomial. And remember, in CBSE, we learn polynomial in one variable only. Degree, highest power of the variable is called the degree. Number 3, do you know the meaning of the words called roots, zeros, or solution? They mean the same. That value of the variable at which the polynomial becomes 0. Very good. Okay. 4, we should also know graphs, graphical analysis versus zeros. Let us ask ourselves, a constant polynomial will never have a 0. Graphically, what is 0? That points on x-axis where the graph touches the x-axis. A constant polynomial will always have a equation, a graph that is parallel to x-axis. They will never meet each other. So there is no 0. A linear will touch the x-axis always once. So linear has got one solution. Also map it with degree. If your degree is 0, count of 0 is 0. If your degree is 1, count of 0 is 1. If your degree is 2, that is quadratic, count of zeros are 3. No 0, 1 0, or 2 zeros. In the language of quadratic equation, now I am going here, I write a quadratic equation as ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Here, there can be an x1 and an x2. In this case, we say real and unique roots, distinct roots, right? There can be a situation where x1 is equal to x2, single root. There can be a scenario where x1 and x2 both does not exist, right? In terms of graph, the quadratic equation graph is always a parabola opening upwards or opening downwards. In this case, it will touch the x-axis only once. In this case, twice. In this case, it will not touch the x-axis at all. Any doubt? In this case, this is real and distinct. Here it will touch twice. Here it will be like this. Okay, it will be like this. Here it will be somewhat like this. And here it will be like this. Understood? We also learned a term called discriminant. Discriminant. A discriminant D is said to be the value of b square minus 4ac. If the discriminant is greater than 0, then you get this scenario. If the discriminant is equal to 0, you get this scenario. Discriminant less than 0, you get this scenario. Maybe we will not touch this in this chapter, but very important in quadratic equation, we'll be using it left, right, and center. Understood graph part? Okay, you should also know how a cubical graph will be. A cubical graph will touch the x-axis 3 times or may only pass through the origin. Hai may only pass through the origin. But in either case, a cubical graph will be like somebody, an exorcism candidate. पाँव ऐसा उठा के रहेगा, एक पाँव ऊपर एक पाँव नीचे रहेगा. Cubical कभी ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे उठता रहेगा, ठीक है ना? और याद रखना, right? अच्छा. Then we understood something. We understood something in this number of zeros. So what did we? Our study will be more on quadratic cubical. Now, so is the degrees. So is the number of zeros. So if you have a quadratic, in a quadratic we will have zeros. How many zeros, beta? 2 zeros मान के चलते हैं. These 2 zeros will either not exist. These 2 zeros may be equal to each other or they may be distinct. In the distinct language, we call the zeros as alpha and beta, right? Alpha, beta exist. Alpha, beta does not exist. or alpha can be equal to beta. Some relations we studied. Sum of the roots alpha plus beta is always minus b by a. And we learned product of the roots alpha beta is always c by a. This is also something that we have learned, right? And in terms of cubical, ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d equal to 0, we learned three things, three roots, alpha plus beta plus gamma. Sum of the roots is always minus b by a, no change. Minus b, c, d, and the minus will somersault, minus plus minus. Then we learned sum of products of root taken two at a time. Though two roots ka product, and add them. So it will be alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. मजा आ गया, take it to good here, ऐसे पर. And third is alpha beta gamma is equal to minus d by a. NCERT book has this mentioned. Please be prepared in pre-boards and all to get this, because they will not like you to score. But I have never seen in boards these questions coming. But since it is mentioned, tomorrow they may say, like my dad used to say, when I used to say paper was very tough, kitab se hi aaya na, then I used to become quiet. Tum pad ke nahi gaya, that's your fault, right? Got it? Now story from next episode. This much we studied. Okay, shall we go to the next episode now? All of you done? Always keep writing the previous whatever you studied. Automatically your brain will open up. Chalo, ab aage chalte hain. Now let's understand one more thing. Suppose I have a polynomial, and let's go by tough way. Say my polynomial is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. This is my polynomial, right? And the polynomial is now equated to 0. So what does it become? It becomes an equation. I am equating this polynomial to 0. That means I am trying to find those values of x at which this polynomial will be 0. Now look at the degree. What is the degree? 3 cubic. How many zeros it should be have? 3 zeros. 3 zeros. 3 zeros ho sakta hai. So the 3 zeros are alpha, beta and gamma. One thing which you should know before this is, say I am multiplying a polynomial px with another polynomial gx, right? Suppose its degree is a and its degree is b. They will give rise to another polynomial called cx. Very important. Cx will have a degree which will be equal to a plus b. समझते हैं आसान भाषा में. Linear multiplied by linear will give you quadratic. 1, 1, 2. Quad will give you biquad. Linear quad will give you cubic. Is this understood? Is this understood? These two always remember. Linear into quad will give you a cubic. And if I have a quad and I multiply this with a quad, I get what? I get biquadratic, or I get a quartic. I get a quartic. Is this understood by everyone? Is samajh mein aaya na? Any polynomial ax square multiplied by px square will give something which is dx4, right? Brings us to think in an opposite manner. If a quad is divided by the linear, it will give birth to a linear. If a cubic is divided by quad, it will give birth to linear. If a quartic is divided by quad, it gives birth to quad. Ye cheez yaad rakho. Why, we will see. I have got a cubic polynomial. Somebody says, Jaideep Das, you find out the 3 roots. Are you, my children, don't even know how to solve quadratic. How can you solve cubic? Right? So we will give you some trick. I will say alpha's value is known for you. Alpha's value is known means alpha is, say, a value, say 5. Alpha's value is 5. Means if you put 5 in this equation, it becomes 0, suppose. Now can you find 2? We can. The technique is, now this is one technique, very important, remember. if you know any root, then x minus the known root is always a factor of this polynomial. They told us one known root, right? This is actually grade 9 remainder theorem and factor theorem. If you know one root, then x minus that. How did you find the root? You actually used to take gx as a factor, gx equal to 0, so you used to get the value of x in grade 9. So if one root is known to you, so in this example I will say x, remember, x minus known root. What is the sign of the root here? Plus. So it will be x minus 5. It is always x minus the root. If the root was minus 5, it would have been x minus of minus 5, x plus 5. So x minus 5 is a root of this. Understood? I now need to find these two. Now, what is this polynomial? This is also a polynomial, na? Kya hai iski degree? Linear. I have a linear polynomial, and with this linear polynomial, I start dividing ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. This is a factor. Enjoy maths. This is a factor. Factor dividing somebody means the remainder has to come 0. I will get another polynomial here, which will be a quad polynomial by my that. But I know how to solve quadratic equation at this level by middle term splitting. मुझे बाकी techniques नहीं आते. By the time we learn quadratic, quadratic can be solved by 3 ways. As of now, you know only middle term splitting. And now you will get questions related to middle term splitting only. But we will see the other two also, very easy. Did you understand this logic? A cubic polynomial is given to you. Now in grade 11 in state board, grade 12, this will come under theory of equation chapter. They will say find the roots of this equation. And a class 10 problem will only come given that alpha's value is 5. If alpha's value is 5, x minus alpha is a factor. Right? And with that factor, if I divide the polynomial, which is a cubic divided by linear, I should end up in a quadratic. Quadratic, I know how to solve. Are you understanding? If you solve such, say you get the value of beta as minus 3 and you get the value of gamma as say plus 1. So x minus 5 is a factor, x minus 1 is a factor, x minus of minus 3, x plus 3 should also be a factor. In fact, if you know all the 3 roots, then you can write this polynomial ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d as x minus 5, x minus 1, x minus of minus 3. If you multiply these 3 monomials, you should get this. That is the idea behind the chapter. Our target will be to find roots. Equation may be quadratic, biquadratic, if your luck is bad, but it comes, or cubic. But you as a guy know only how to solve quadratic. So if it is a biquadratic, in that question we will have 4 roots, alpha, beta, gamma, delta. 4 rahega. They will give you 2 roots. We'll know 2 roots, right? Let's say, okay, I'll repeat this as many times as you want. I'm taking a quartic polynomial. ax4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e. How many roots it should have? 4 roots. Let the 4 roots be alpha, let the 4 roots be alpha, beta, gamma and delta. There are 4 roots to it. And they will ask find all 4 roots. But you as a grade 10 student, you don't know how to solve it. You only know quadratic. Means our idea will be by something, buy, beg, borrow, steal, convert this into quadratic. So they will give you the value of say alpha and delta. Then what can I say? Okay, let's take the number 24. Is 3 a factor of 24? Yes. Is 2 a factor of 24? Yes. Multiply 3 and 2, 6. 6 also will be a factor of 24. Common sense. So, is x minus alpha a factor of this polynomial? Yes. Is x minus delta a factor of this polynomial? Yes. So, their product should also be a factor. This is what? Quadratic. This is quadratic. Linear, linear, quadratic. With this, you are trying to divide what? Say this is px. I'm not writing again. You are trying to divide px. Px is what? Quartic. Quadratic dividing quartic will give you what here? Quadratic. I know how to middle term split it. And I will get the balanced two roots. And the best to check is put the value of each of the root. This should become 0 and it will become 0. Who has not understood? Tell me, I'll explain again. I have no issues. But don't go without understanding. Cancer ho jayega aage jaake pura.
Can you explain quadratic?
Which one? Which one you want? Biquadratic. I have a biquadratic polynomial whose degree is 4. By the way, your haircut is giving you a very smarty look, okay? Your biquadratic, your degree is 4. 4 means how many अब उसी में खो मत रहना. I am looking good. अब इसमें ध्यान दो. It should have how many zeros? 4 zeros. These are the 4 zeros. They will ask you find the 4 zeros. There are techniques to find 4 zeros also. If you are in state board, in grade 12 you will learn. Not by this way. There are many other ways. Okay. So I know only to solve quadratic. I beg, borrow, still इसको किसी भी तरह I have to convert quadratic. Since two values are given to me, every root, I told you one fundamental equation, x minus that root is always a factor. So x minus alpha is a factor. X minus delta is also a factor. Factor into factor will also be a factor of the daddy. Agreed or not? The example I gave, 24, 3 is a factor, 2 is a factor. 3 into 2, 6 is also a factor. Agreed? This is now quadratic. See, x into x will have an x square term. Quadratic is trying to punch quartic. What will you get the output? Quadratic. And once I get a quadratic, I can always middle term split it and find the 2 zeros. My solution will be done. समझ में आया? पर क्यूबिक भी समझते हैं. आपका उल्टा हो गया. आप you understood how to drive a Volvo bus. Now we will see how to drive auto. Cubic is auto, na? This is cubic. How many roots it has? 3. Alpha, beta, gamma. They gave us the value of say alpha as 5. Find beta, gamma. X minus 5 should be a root of this, factor of this. X minus 5 is linear. This is cubic. So the bacha will be quadratic. Middle term split it. Done. No issues. Clear? Now let's see another type of tweaking a problem. Let's say another problem. Suppose ax plus bx, this is made into a realistic problem. Let's say it's a realistic problem. 2x cube minus 3x square minus say 5x, arbitrary, huh? Plus k. I have put a k out here. Is a polynomial whose one root is what? Say 3. Find the value of k. So if you put 3 in all place of all x's and equate it to 0, you can find the value of k. Or in some other case, since 3 is a root, you divide it with x minus 3. You should end up, now since you don't know the value of k, you cannot get 0. You'll end up in some remainder. But the remainder has to be 0 because this is a factor. Equate the remainder. The remainder will have a k term. Equate the remainder equal to 0. You get the value of k. Ye samajh mein aaya? The next example that I tried to give. Hey Shreya, your only 2 eyes are seen like this, like in a prison. Have you understood this one or not? The next example that I tried to give. In the next example, they will hide one constant term and say, tell me the value of the constant. And they may give you the 0. One way is that just punch the 0. Everything should be 0. So the constant term can be evaluated. Another way is x minus that 0 is a factor. Factor means remainder should be 0. But since this is unknown, your remainder will come in a d wala term. Equate the remainder equal to 0. Then also d can be solved. According to me, apart from this gyan, this chapter does not need any more gyan. Shall we now take up some problems and see whether we are able to solve those problems or not? Huh? What is formula? We don't have used any vertex formula here. Oh, minus b, that's in quadratic equation. Quadratic can be solved in 3 ways. आएंगे उसको, अभी ये कर लो, ये हो जाने से we will go to quadratic equation. ठीक है? Anything anyone wants to ask here? If not, let us take some easy questions and try to solve. One thing which you need with knowledge is your knowledge about middle term splitting. Acha, before we go that, Ananya, one more help. In that room, there is a bluish color book which is R.S. Agarwal grade 9. Zara laoge. It will be, you know the size of grade 9, right? Just get that book, na? Oh, it's here. Sorry. It's here. Ajao. So now what we are trying to do is some middle term splitting problem. This is a technology recap, and I'm going to show you a middle term splitting, but typically which has got roots in them. Okay, because that is what is going to give you problem. Chale? We'll do some middle term splitting with roots to check whether you know how to do this problem. Totally different from this chapter. Okay. Learn it once. I have got a problem which is 4 root 3 x square. This is grade 9 problem, plus 5x, okay, minus 2 root 3. Okay, we have to factorize it. Okay, we'll do it together, don't worry, we have to factorize it. This was in grade 9. Now we are in which grade? Grade 10. Is this a quadratic equation? Solve the quadratic equation. So basically we have to factorize. Okay. Now how to do this problem when it comes in roots? So please see, the problem used to be ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Our first step used to be multiply a and c. So let's multiply a and c. 4 into 2 will give me minus 8. Root 3 into root 3 is how much? 3. So it is minus 24. Do you agree or not? How did I get it? 4 root 3 multiplied by negative 2 root 3. This is minus 24. If the problem is like this, it is quite easy. Split minus 24 into 2 factors in such a way that their algebraic addition gives me 5. 3 and 8, very easy, but I need a positive. Here it is negative. So I'll take a positive 8 and I'll take a negative 3. These are my 2 factors. My job is done. So I will now write it as 4 root 3 x square plus 8x minus 3x minus 2 root 3 is equal to 0. Okay. Now, what to take common? That will come common here also, right? If you see on this side, say somebody picks up 3 as common, then what do you get? You get a x. If you take 3 as common, you get a root 3 minus, what do you get here? 2. यहाँ से क्या common लेंगे? You think, what is common between this 4 and 8? 4 and 8, we can take 4 as common. Then x we can take common. Okay. What is left here? Root 3, right? And what is left here? X. Is this understood? Once, correct na? 4 root 3x and 2x. 2x. It will be 2x. It will be 2x. Oh, it will be x. Sorry. It will be just 4x. It will be 2. Just 2. Just 2. Root 3x plus 2. Sorry. Root 3x plus 2, right? Once you have found this, just close your eyes and put this factor here and try to match this. I think if I take a negative root 3 common out here, then negative root 3 into root 3 is a negative 3x. Understood? Now what do you see here? Dog. 2 dogs. So we'll take dog common. Dog common. Then we have here crow minus pigeon equal to 0. ये आपको बहुत आएगा इस साल में, equal to pigeon. Now how to solve? We have got two factors, f1 and f2. Multiplying two factors giving you 0 means either f1 is 0 or f2 is 0. So we say either root 3x plus 2 equal to 0. In this case, x will be equal to negative 2 by root 3, or 4x minus root 3 is equal to 0. In this case, x is equal to root 3 by 4. Quadratic equation, two different roots. This is one type of quadratic root wala middle term splitting that you will get. The next one is more interesting, okay? Where you have a root at the middle. That is a little bit of tension. That gives you a little bit of tension. Let's do one. Right, chalo. Ready for the next one? Okay. And if you want to practice this, exercise 3C, RS Agarwal, grade 9, it has bunch of such problems. X square minus root 3x, okay, minus 6. It was factorization. I have made it a quadratic equation, correct? So to solve this, इसमें थोड़ा सा trick है. इसमें थोड़ा trick है. We have to pay attention here. So what is the value of A? 1. What is the value of C? Negative 6. That means 1 into negative 6 gives me how much? Negative 6. Negative 6 has to be split into two factors to give rise to a minus root 3. That means the factors can be some A root 3 and B root 3. Then only root 3 will be born. Otherwise, root 3 won't be born. However, you know that A root 3 into B root 3 should be equal to negative 6. This is known to us. Right? That means AB into 3 should be equal to negative 6. Agreed? That means AB's value should be equal to negative 2. This is your foundation for iteration. AB multiplied should give you negative 2. Right? Let us make this as, we need a negative out here and we have a negative. So say, let's put negative 2 root 3. AB should give me negative 2, na? And I put 1 root 3. A into B is how much? Minus 2. Let's multiply. Root 3, root 3. Root 3, root 3. 3. 3 into minus 2, minus 6. Satisfies. Minus 2 plus 1 root 3. Minus root 3. Satisfies. Apna kaam to ho gaya. This splitting is very essential. You cannot do hit and trial. Nahi hoga aapse. Put A root 3, B root 3. Now what do we get here? We get x square minus 2 root 3x plus root 3x minus 6 equal to 0. Right? So what do? We take x square common. Right? Now think, here arrangement also makes an issue. If you go by this arrangement, you will land up in problem. Your arrangement should be opposite. It should be now the arrangement is okay. Swap करो इसको, नहीं तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. Now go. Take x as common. X plus root 3. Clear? That means on this side, I should get x plus root 3. No questions asked. Now first try to match this. How do you get x plus root 3? I take negative 2 root 3 common. Matched. Now see with this. Negative root 3 into root 3 into root 3. 3 into negative 2 minus 6. Matched. This orientation, you just can't put anything. You have to just check and put it. Now we have a dog and a dog. Dog common. This is how I teach grade 8. Dog, dog common. On this side I have a crow. On this side I have a pigeon. Equal to 0. So x value can be negative root 3 or x value can be plus 2 root 3. Have you understood? This is weird cases where we may get radical quadratic equations. Then our life becomes a little bit miserable if you don't know how to do it. And if you want to practice this, grade 9 RS Agarwal, it is available on internet. Anything, take some problems and do. Shall we get into problems of grade 10 now? Acha, chalte hain grade 10. I'm straight away doing 2.2 exercise first. Okay, first says, and then we'll go to the graphs. Find the zeros of the following. Listen to me. Find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial. So how many zeros? 2 zeros. How do we solve it? Only middle term splitting. We don't know anything other than middle term splitting. But now I will teach you the other ones also. Okay? And verify the relationship between zeros and coefficient. What is the relationship? Sum of the zeros minus b by a, product of the zeros c by a. So let's take one nanasa, munnasa, pyara sa problem, which is x square minus 2x minus 8. This is my quadratic polynomial and I am asked to find its zeros. Acha children, another thing I told you. Once you see that the leading coefficient is 1, I told you in grade 9, if you remember, whatever factors you get, x minus the factor into x minus the factor. But don't apply that rule if the leading coefficient is something other than 1. Chalo, isko solve karte hain. So how do we solve? X square minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay. Middle term splitting. 4 and 2 should be the two factors. But we need negative 8 and negative 2. So I think it should be x square minus 4x plus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. All those children who are putting equal to sign on the left hand side are super idiots. This is an equation, so it will always come with or. Equation में equal नहीं बिठाते हैं. Majority of you do that mistake and your teachers are also correcting. यहाँ equal नहीं बिठाते हैं, यहाँ or बिठाते हैं. This means or implies that. Equal to is put like in trigonometry. Left hand side, there is no equation. Then you are allowed to put equal to. This step is equal to this step is equal to this. This is or, implies that this is equal to this. Chale aage. Okay. So what do? We take x common, become like a Dracula, suck out the blood. X minus 4. Then x minus 4 must be there. How to make it x minus 4? 3 plus 2 you take. It becomes x minus 4. Okay. Achha, just remember one thing, children. 1 minute. Remember one thing. What were the two factors we found out? Negative 4 and positive 2 were the two factors, right? Keep that in mind. These were the two factors. Okay. Now what do we have? Dog and dog. So take dog common. Crow. When you go to objective type paper solving in competition examination, these were the two factors, right? These were the factors. So x minus 4 and x plus 2 straight away. Provided this is 1. If this was not 1, don't apply that technique. Okay? So now you know either x minus 4 equal to 0 or x plus 2 equal to 0. So the value of x is equal to how much? 4. The value of x is equal to negative 2. Right? Therefore, you can write alpha equal to 4, beta equal to minus 2. Now we'll verify. The first verification is alpha plus beta. Let's do alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. You write here b is equal to how much? Negative 2. A is equal to 1. Therefore, minus b by a is minus of minus 2 divided by 1, which is plus 2. Also, alpha plus beta is equal to 4 plus minus 2, which is equal to plus 2. Hence verified. Did you understand? You have verified it. Alpha beta by the coefficient formula, alpha beta by your workout. Similarly, you should also say the second relationship is alpha beta, which should be c by a. So you write here c is equal to how much? Negative 8. Therefore, c by a is negative 8 by 1, which is equal to negative 8. Also, alpha beta is equal to 4 into negative 2, which is negative 8. So therefore, you have verified. Understood? I'm not going to break my head in solving these problems anymore. ये हो गया, एक टाइप का करा दिया, सिखा दिया आपको, आप करते रहो अभी. Understood? Clear? Another gyan. Another gyan. Can I go ahead? All of you understood this? It's pretty simple. Next type of gyan is, given a quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, children, what are the roots? Alpha and beta. And what relation do you have? Alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. Alpha beta is equal to c by a. You knew the equation, you found the roots. Reverse. Roots will be given to you. Formulate the equation or formulate the polynomial. This is there in quadratic equation also, common topic. So, say I am given alpha and beta as roots of a quadratic polynomial. I am asked to formulate Px, right? We have given you puris, make them back to maida. We are not Cinderellas and the fairy that we turn the pumpkin back to carriage, but we can. So we say the polynomial is always given by x square minus sum of roots. This should go by your throat. X plus product of roots. This is the polynomial. And if it was a quadratic equation, we will write x square minus sum of the root x plus product of the roots should be equal to 0. इसका मतलब क्या हो गया? देखते हैं. X square minus alpha plus beta plus what? Alpha beta. This is the polynomial. This is the polynomial. And we will prove it. Don't worry. Let's design the quadratic equation. So our quadratic equation should be what? Polynomial equated to 0. X square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta should be equal to 0. This is the quadratic polynomial. Substitute. My English is very bad. Substitute. X square minus b by a plus c by a is equal to 0. Substitute. Then what is the lasama? Lasama is a. Then it becomes ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. A goes and marries 0. It becomes what? Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Meow. घूम के आ गया वापस? ये समझ में आया तो? A will go and marry 0. So it becomes 0. Interesting, eh? Please keep this in mind. Based on this, let us do one problem now. Two roots will be given to us and we have to make what? The polynomial. Ready? All of you understood? Very easy. But just remember the formula. X square minus sum of the roots x plus product of the roots is equal to 0. है ना? बहुत कुछ चीज याद रखना पड़ता है जो आप इस एज तक भी याद रखोगे. What are the suffix and prefix? 10 to the power 3 is called what? Kilo. 10 to the power 2? What is 10 to the power 2? Hecta. 10 to the power minus 2? Centi. 10 to the power minus 3? Milli. 10 to the power minus 1? Deci. But in 11 you are supposed to know from 10 to the power 18 to 10 to the power minus 18. शुरू करें? Exa, peta, tera, giga, mega, kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, pico, femto, atto. It will come to you also, provided you start loving the subject. Exa, peta. Exa is 18, peta. Tera, 1 terabyte, 10 to the power 12. Giga, 9. Mega, 6. Kilo, 3. Hecta, 2. Deca, 1. Then comes whatever, meter, liter. Deci, minus 1. Centi. Milli. Micro, minus 6. Micros, this side is mega. Nano, Tata Nano, 10 to the power minus 9. Giga, 10 to the power. Pico, minus 12. Tera, plus 12. Femto, minus 15. beta femto atto 10 to the power minus 18. हम मुंह बनाने से थोड़ी चलेगा, होना पड़ेगा. चलो चलो गए. Let's do one more problem. Okay, we are given a very stylish quadratic equation, and let me take that only, whose roots are root 2 and what? 1 by 3. You have to formulate the quadratic polynomial. So how do we do this problem? We write solution. Let alpha equal to root 2, beta equal to 1 by 3, right? Alpha plus beta should be equal to how much? Minus b by a, but you can't write here minus b by a, so we'll just do alpha beta. So root 2 into 1 by 3, which is root 2 by 3. Okay, children, understood this? क्या लिखा मैं? I'm so sorry. This is alpha beta. Okay, alpha plus beta is how much beta? Root 2 plus 1 by 3.
That these two are the sum and product.
अच्छा, पहले इसको रूट ले लेते हैं, फिर सम एंड प्रोडक्ट भी करेंगे. सपोज दिस इज, वो तो और इजी हो गया फिर. Say these are the roots. These are not sum and product. These are the roots only. Let's formulate. Root 2 plus this, right? So how much is the sum now? 3 root 2 plus 1 by 3. Is this agreed? Can you now formulate the quadratic equation or the quadratic polynomial? The quadratic polynomial will be given by x square minus sum of the roots x plus product of the roots. That's all, right? And we'll simultaneously solve quadratic equation also. If we were supposed to solve the quadratic equation, then it will be x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta should be equal to 0. This is the equation, this is the polynomial. That's all. Let's punch our values. Our values are x square minus, what is alpha plus beta beta? Alpha plus beta is 3 root 2 plus 1 by 3 x, and this is plus root 2 by 3. This is the polynomial. If this was the quadratic equation, then it becomes more stylish. It will become 3x square, right, minus 3 root 2 plus 1x plus root 2 whole thing divided by 3 equals to 0, and finally you can equate the 3 to 0, so it looks more stylish. ये थोड़ा eating noodles with spoon. This is eating noodles with fork, you know, stylish. Acha, in your book the question was much more easy. The question was saying that this itself is the sum and this itself is the product. Much more easy. Then we will do what? X square minus root 2x plus 1 by 3 equal to 0. Did you understand how to formulate? So these are the two things that you get. We just go back to exercise 2.1 where some graphs will be given, or what? What graphs can you all solve now? How many times it is touching the x-axis? I just want to move to quadratic equation to show you how to solve quadratic equations by other methods. This chapter should be studied together, then only you will get the maza. These two known? So by now we know how to solve quadratic equation by middle term splitting. So let me take one. Now I'm purely in quadratic equation, okay? Let me take one problem. Quadratic equation. We have to find what do you call solution. So what will be the factors? Minus 6. 3 and 2 नहीं होगा. करके देखो. You have to get a minus 6. Minus 6 means, and you have to get a 5. If you take 3 and 2, both should be positive. So it will be 6 and 1. 6 and 1, right? So how do we solve it? X square, you have to get it positive. So you take it as 6x minus 6 is equal to 0. So x into x plus 6, you have to get a x plus 6 here. How do you get a x plus 6? Negative 1. So it is x minus 1 into x plus 6 is equal to 0, which means x value is 1, x value is 6. Do you know how to solve this? You know. Let's get to the new system, which is called x equal to minus 6. Very good. Always try to find what sir is doing wrong, and I appreciate it. Okay, fine. Now we are going to do what? Next method, which is known as, and pay attention, method of completion of square. Method of completion of square. Do you know a formula called a square minus b square? If I make it equal to 0, then left hand side becomes a plus b into a minus b equal to 0. Can you then solve it? Either this is 0, this is 0. That means this particular fellow has to be converted to this method. Then only I can do. Shall we? Acha. Very good. Let us write our equation x square plus 5x minus 6 equal to 0. Don't do. Observe what I'm doing, okay? Your first job will be to look in this factor. Is it a plus or a minus? Plus. Once you see that it is a plus, your brain should process that I have to make a plus b whole square. That means if it was minus, I will make what? A minus b whole square. Understood? Okay. Let us expand a plus b whole square. A square plus 2ab plus b square. This is how you expand a plus b whole square. Acha. Now this is like जबरदस्ती का mathematics है ना, मिलाना पड़ेगा. So let's make a square. So can I make it as x square? ठीक है? Plus, since this is my a, so a is frozen. 2 into a. Now get a b such that you land up on 5. No other way. This is my b. Then only it is. अब यहाँ से यहाँ तक match हो रहा है. Matching. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. It becomes 5x. So two things we have understood in this, that a is x, this is a, and this is b. The formula says that I should now write b square. So my b square would be 25 by 4. This is b square, right? Up till here tallied. Some kebab mein haddi you have introduced. Please take out the kebab mein haddi also. Agreed? Now is it same till here? Yes. And our beloved friend should also come, na? Is this step equal to this or not? Just check. Yes. I introduced this. I deleted this. Yes. Children, what is it till here? X plus 5 by 2 whole square. Agreed? And let's see what is here. If I take the negative common, it becomes 25 by 4 plus 6. Okay? By now you should understand. This is x plus 5 by 2 whole square minus, let's take 4 as the LCM. Then 4 6 are 24. 24 plus 25, 49. 49 by 4, can I write it as 7 by 2 whole square? Have I come in this format? I've come in this format, right? This is equal to 0. Either this is 0. Now the next step will be what? X plus 5 by 2 plus 7 by 2 into x plus 5 by 2 minus 7 by 2 is equal to 0. Agreed? A plus b, a minus b. Let us solve kar do isko. This will become 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 5 and 7 is minus 2. Minus 2 by 2 is minus 1. Matching? इसके आगे I will not do. I think you know how to do. Either this is 0 or this is 0. Any quadratic equation can be solved in this manner. The only job is that you have to convert it into a plus b whole square, or you have to convert it into a minus b whole square. एक और देखें with a minus. Shall we see one more with a minus? So I am again going to grade 9 book. See, grade 9 book is very helpful. So there will be factorized, means they are factorizable. So we'll take one problem from there and try to see. Chalo, shall we? ले ठीक है, एक करते हैं, ये तो जाएगा आपको. So let's make it a little bit complicated now. 2x square plus 11x minus 21 equal to 0. This is a question. Solve it by method of completion of square, not by factorization. So what is the sign of, oh no, not this. Here we'll take a minus 1. Yeah. Not this, not this. Let's take a minus 1. 9x square minus 22x plus 8 is equal to 0. This is having a minus. Let me just check. 9x square minus 20. Here, a minus here. Now what is here? Minus. What should you aim at? A minus b whole square. So let's do 3x whole square. This is a minus 2 into a. 2 into 3 is how much? 2 into 3 is how much? 6. But you have to get a 22. You have to get a 22. So what do you multiply it with? 22 by 6. 22 by 6, can you make it a little bit smaller? 11 by 3, right? So let's just make it 11 by 3. Check, is it 22 now? 3 and 3 gone, 11 to 22. So what is your b now? 11 by 3. A square minus 2ab plus b square. The kebab mein haddi. You have matched it till here. This one is now remove it. 11 by 3 whole square. No faults, no more fault. 8 was there. Bring your 8. After that, if you are an idiot in simplification, only then you will make a mistake. Let's do it. So this becomes 3x minus 11 by 3 whole square. Agreed? अब ये part को solve करो. And how to solve it? It has to be a square minus b square. So you straight away put minus here, then this becomes 11 by 3 whole square minus 8, children. Is this understood? Because you are till here a square minus 2ab, till here you are done. You have to just massage these two. Okay? Aye. Let's go ahead. So this one remains as 3x minus 11 by 3. Try to solve this. This is 9. 9 into 8 is how much? 72. 121 minus 72. 100 minus 72. 121 minus 72. 121 minus 72. So this is what? 9. 1 and 7, 8. 8 and 4, 49. Ain't 49. So this becomes how much? Negative 49 by 9. Clear, bacha? I'm jumping steps. I hope you're understanding. So this becomes 3x minus 11 by 3 minus how much? Convert it into a square minus b square format. Quick. Tell me. Minus 7 by 3 whole square. A square minus b square. So it is a plus b. Let's do a plus b. Quick, in one shot. A plus b. Minus 7 plus minus 11 plus 7. Minus 11 plus 7 is how much? Minus 4. Minus 4. Minus 4 by 3. Right? And minus 11 minus 7? Minus 18. Minus 18 by 3 is minus 6. Clear? This can be further simplified. Just see 3x minus 4 by 3. Can you not suck out 3 from here? And there is 0 on this side. So this becomes x minus 2 is equal to 0. That 3 has gone. Cancel with 0. Advanced mathematics. अब solve कर लें इसको. X value should be equal to 2, which is from here. And x value should be equal to 4 by 3, right? Is divided by 3. So x value should be equal to 4 by 9. Okay. My next class in mathematics will be straight into quadratic equation. In quadratic equation, we have to solve quadratic equations, do word problems. And the sad part, which I'm revealing now, method of completion of square, CBSE has abolished from their syllabus 3 years ago. Then, sir, why did you teach this? If you don't understand this, you will not understand what your vertex formula you are saying. Na, that is not vertex. That is called Sridharacharya's formula. And you should be proud that formula to the world is given by India, which you will be using a lot, minus b by 2a wala. Minus b by 2a you will understand only when you understand this. This in CBSE nobody will ask you. Yeah, it's been removed. You won't find it, method of. But in books of Cambridge, ICSE and all, it will be there. But when you go to grade 11, you are supposed to know this. CBSE is weird. You're supposed to know this. But I think many of you may go to state board. That's why I made you do this. This is not that difficult. But had I told you this is not in syllabus before, you will develop an inhibition. फिर क्यों सिखा रहा है? Why? But you know I'm cruising. I love giving pain, you know. Shreya madam, a very nice quality of shampoo you are using. We are seeing you like a shampoo ad. ये है नया, मेरे बालों का glaze देखिए. Camera का setting ऐसा है that wall paint is very good, shampoo is very good. Rest she is drowned under the water. ठीक है? Yeah, your textbook definitely. So practice NCRT for chapter 2. From our side we are done. There's nothing more. But lot of chapter 2 implication is there in quadratic. Our next class starts with quadratic long formula. We'll solve quadratic equations and then move to word problem. You will limp in word problem because you all are very bad in English. Upfront I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. कोई कुछ बोल रहा है? Somebody wants to say something? Sir, sir बोल के रुक गया. बोला ना? Somebody was saying sir, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, were you saying that sir, jao, jao? I'm going. So you will be limping in word problem. वो मैं upfront आपको बोल रहा हूँ. Because your English is bad. ठीक है?
Yeah.
You will have, yeah. I am Sarita is 6 years as old as her, so and so. 5 years ago, वो सब आएगा फिर से. ठीक है?